tell me, since you went to Hell's Kitchen, the equivalent of a woman's breast is a rack of
Yeah,
ribs.
absolutely. Because the best thing about ribs is that you're getting in there. Like, you're getting nasty. You're getting your hands in there. So you're like grabbing them. You're like licking your fingers, licking it. You're getting it all over your face. Sometimes, boobs lactate. It's kind of like simulation of barbecue sauce that's on the ribs that you're consuming. Also, I've never had ribs and had a bad time. Same thing with boobs. Never held boobs in my hands and had a bad time.
No, okay, so you never had.
And it starts at a young age. Like, you're a kid on the tip. So some of those things just don't go away. You just love
it's
boobs
just
all
built
the time.
in.
And I think that's why men are always happy. Anyway, welcome to the Unsolicited Counseling Podcast. I'm your host. This is Martin.
I'm your boy, Jermaine.
And I'm Catherine.
And what a way to start the episode. I mean, we're just going on and on about boobs. We had a sidebar conversation about length. And you guys, men know what we're talking about. We're talking about length.
We're talking about length. But I do want a side note about boob. Is it so? You said it starts at a young age, right? Is it because I did formula that I like ass more? Is that is that the reason why?
Maybe, but how would that explain the people who are into feet?
Like, honestly, I have no idea, bro.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I was listening to another podcast and someone said it, and I was like, oh, that is weird. You know how, like, everyone's telling us we need to drink more water, and you have to drink water, it's a healthy thing to do? Babies don't drink water.
Well, the water's in the milk.
Don't drink water.
The water's in the milk. It's mixed with the milk.
No,
it's like you're drinking
But it's not just water. I mean, water's mixed in everything we eat, but we still drink water.
Maybe because they don't need that much water.
Yeah, they're so little.
They're like this.
So you're telling me the smaller you are, the less water you need? Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
I just think 4 is the new 8. That's all I'm going to say.
4 is indeed the new 8. We got to make it happen, man. 4 is the new 8.
That's the new shirt, the new merch. 4 is the new 8.
To the size queens out there, look, 4 is the new 8. 4 is the new 8.
And the favorite thing about the number 8 is it kind of looks like boobs. So if you turn it to the side.
Full circle. Oh, man. So today, what are we going to talk about today? We have first of all, another great episode with Catherine. So we're glad to have you here again with us, resident co-host. Now, do you have your lanyard on?
Yeah.
Wow, so, I'm not. I was not prepared for this.
What kind of question is that? A pro.
She's a pro.
So how many holes do you have in your punch card?
Today makes 4.
That's impressive. And we love that energy. So thanks for joining us. And you know how we always get every episode started. You got to know how you're doing. So let's start with you, Catherine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Like I said, I was telling Martin earlier. He texted me at like 5:53 and said, be ready at 6. And I was like, oh, am I doing the pod today? I was down on the beach with Bodie, and I literally ran up, changed clothes, got ready, got my drink, logged in, was in the waiting room before you guys. Ready to
She was like, where's everybody at?
I know.
Roasted Beth at the end. Doesn't move at the end of the season, like looking around this living room. Like, where is everybody?
But yeah, good. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
You want to take it over? All right, I'll go for it. So I'm doing good. This before the episode, I had some hate in my heart. I had to let it out earlier. But I'm gonna carry that energy. The week has been it's been up and down, just mostly busy with work and stuff like that. But overall, it's been a good week. I do need a vacation before my vacation. I think I'm a little bit burnt out with just like studying, work, social obligations and stuff. Like now I'm like at the point where I'm like trying to just need to like regain energy. Like I feel like I'm all like socially, like my social battery is like on E. I feel like I'm like the phone that even though you put the charger in, it won't charge right now, so I gotta take myself to Geek Squad and get myself together. Genius Bar, because we ain't poor out here. We go to Genius Bar.
My man gets an iPhone, all of a sudden going to Genius Bar.
Man, okay, no, I got the I got some of the snobbery rubbed off from my friends that got an iPhone. Every time I see my family's group chat and like I do like a like and stuff, I'm like, some people be like, "What's that?" Like my mom was like, how do you say like this?" And my mom did the same thing, like the typed liked.
Did she type the whole like you did?
Like I used to do, and no one told me this. No one told me this. See, y'all, if y'all got a friend, right? If you an Android user, they fucking with you. If they say ha ha, like, heart, and you and the showing up on your thing, right? It's a special. I mean, look, maybe I was just dumb. It's a special thing with the iPhone where you can hold it and like it or whatever, do an emoji. No one told me when I used to type ha ha or heart or love or whatever. No one said shit. I found out when I got my iPhone a year and a half ago. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was getting played this entire time.
Wait, you
And
didn't
I
know
did
that whole
that
time?
shit with like iPhone users that I went on dates with, bro.
The
No
funniest
one
part,
told me. Y'all ain't shit.
the part that makes it so funny is there was a time it was like Jermaine liked this and he like spelled something wrong that someone else said, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, man, my iPhone's acting funny. Whatever. I was like, maybe it's an Android issue. I can't tell. Then he corrected it and sent the second one with the little asterisk. Be like, oops, my bad.
I hate y'all. I hate everybody. I hate everybody. But that's a good topic for today. I'm gonna keep that energy. Anyways, Martin, hating ass hater, how you been, bro?
Man, this week has had some high highs and some valley lows, man. Start with the highs. As I told you guys before we got onto the episode, I went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in DC. He has two. One is the fish and chips place, but he also has the Hell's Kitchen here. So we went to Hell's Kitchen last night, me and the wife. We had the beef Wellington, the sticky toffee pudding, the pan-seared scallops, all his like main dishes, his like favorite signature dishes. Really good, recommend, but also getting a reservation is almost impossible. You have to get like 3 months out. It's a horrible wait, but the food was great. Spent like $350 total.
Oh God, my heart.
And that's like with travel, like because the Uber out was like, I think I spent $60 on the Uber. We metroed in, and we still spent like 300 something dollars total. So, but the food was fantastic. I'd recommend it. The drinks, I had a mocktail. I can't remember what it was called, but that was also good. So I can only imagine the alcoholic beverages. You know what? I'm not even gonna cap. I had a drink. I
There
had
you
an
go.
alcoholic drink. It was called Notes from Gordon. It was like a gin and tonic type style drink. Really good. And I got a note from Gordon himself. And I think it's a really good segue into the episode because it says, I don't know if you guys can read this, but my grandmother can do better than that, and she's dead.
Oh my God. Okay.
So yeah, so today then the valley lows is that I've been, my work is being critiqued in the office, and it seems like I don't know. I don't know if the interpretation is that I'm just not pulling my weight or not doing anything, but I was under the impression that I was doing everything in my power to get things done. But, management sees things otherwise, so now we're forced to go into the office every day moving forward, which is horrible. Like, it's not even, like, honestly, I don't really mind being in the office. It's just the commute. Like, 50 minutes back and forth every day. Like, if it was, like, down the street, I'd be like, no problem. But going in and spending all that time walking in the hot sun to get to the office and then
In business casual clothing,
in business casual clothing, and
long
then
sleeve.
someone is above you. Someone that's above you is there. Or you're meeting with someone. You have to wear like nicer clothes and a tie. It's just like if you run into like the president for some reason, I don't know, but you
Bow.
gotta be appropriate. Joe Byron.
Joe Byron. Okay.
Yeah. But it is what it is. We're gonna take it a day at a time. And it kind of leads into our episode today, which we're talking about is just like managing our anger. And I think that, it's hard sometimes. It's really hard to, when you get a criticism, or someone says you're not good enough, or someone is critiquing, you trying to practice a new skill and they're harsh about it. Like, there's all these things that can lead to you being angry. And like, what do you do with that anger? Do you just put it out into the world? Do you throw it back at the other person? Like, there's so many different ways you can go about managing anger. So that's what the episode's about. But you know what we do before we get into the episode? What are we drinking?
All right. So I'm gonna start off.
Oh, okay.
I'll start off. I'll be the whatever trendsetter, whatever the hell it's called. Bro, I'm fucked up. And I'm not even drinking. So today I'm following Martin Leaves. It's not triple bevy. It's double. So I'm doing two double beverage today. So I got a green tea. Starting off. I'm holding down my man's. I'm not drinking when we're together. So we're at solidarity. So I got a green tea from Lipton, solid, like 7 out of 10. It's a beverage, it's like soda, man. I can drink this all day. And then I got a new Athletic Brewing. So I'm really going in on this stuff, man. So this one is the Upside. This was a original Upside Golden. It doesn't say because it hates me, but it's like a golden like pale ale. I guess like a pale ale, and it's pretty good. I give it like a 8.5. It's standard.
Wow.
Yeah, I give it an 8. It's a good beer.
It's not alcoholic, or is alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic. Wow. It got I'm gonna give it. Actually, it's a lot better than the one we had last time because it has more flavor. But with flavor comes responsibilities. It's 30 extra calories, so that's what I'm like, all right, well, look, man, if you want like a flavor bomb, like you can go with this. So I would highly recommend. It's only 45 calories if you're counting calories. We're trying to get swole out here. Trying to get right the best we can. At least me and Martin. Kathy, you trying to get swole too? You can get on this train. You can get on this train with us.
Yeah, I didn't hear about the no drinking solidarity, so.
Oh, no one's asking only for solidarity. I appreciate it. Like, I'm not drinking for the most part. Like I said, I had one drink yesterday, so I'll let you have a drink today. I didn't make it 2 weeks, so.
Nah, I had a drink yesterday, so I ain't even faking. I had a drink yesterday too, so I'm not even faking. It was a rough day yesterday. I was like, all right, let's get this whiskey in. And I had a Hibiki yesterday, so
nice.
It was good. But yeah, Catherine, what are you drinking?
Well, I have this Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale Session.
And now I feel like an asshole because I'm not drinking.
I feel like the asshole because I am. No, it's nice. It's brewed with lime juice, lime peel, black limes, and sea salt. So nice and refreshing, light, good, like end of the day sunset beer. Give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. I'm not usually a beer drinker. Like it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a session sour.
Oh, it's a sour. That one, I know how Martin feels about sour.
I think that sours are exclusively made for women. Now, hear me out. I've never met a female
She's like, oh shit,
enjoys sours, but I've met a lot of men who don't like sours. Now, you find me a female who says that they don't like. Actually, you find me a male who likes sours. I might change my opinion, but I might not. I'm very firm in my resolve on a lot of things lately. Recently, I told Catherine a situation that I don't think certain types of people should be in certain positions, but I'm not going to get canceled today. So we're just going to start talking about my drink of choice right now. So,
yes, please talk about your drink before you
So, you got 3 Bevy Wiley again. You got the water. You guys see me drinking this. Always, since my wife keeps buying it, we still got the Wild Wonder. Not sponsored, but sponsoring. And today, for my beer, I have a Budweiser Zero.
What the fuck? I've never seen that.
Where did... I have so many questions.
I have so many answers. Go for it.
Okay. Did you know that this existed prior to buying it?
Absolutely not.
Oh. Where did you get that?
So, apparently, my state or where I live, they can't sell alcohol in grocery stores in Maryland. There's like one grocery store per county that can sell alcohol. So the Safeway that I live above, they can only sell non-alcoholic drinks. So I walked in and I was just like going to get like waffles or something random because I eat breakfast like some people. And as I'm going down the freezer aisle, I noticed that there's like these box full of freaking non-alcoholic drinks just sitting there. One was like Beck's. I don't know if you guys know what Beck's is, but I don't either.
Beck's?
Beck's. B-E-C-K.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've heard of Beck's. Yeah.
So there's like a Beck's one. I believe there was like a Stella non-alcoholic one, and then the Budweiser one. Now, I'm cheap, I'm poor. I just got back from vacation, so I was like, I'm gonna pick the cheapest of the bunch. Also, the one that gives me the most alcohol by volume by price, or not alcohol, the most value by price because it's not alcoholic. So I got 12 cans for the price of like I don't know, it's like $1 a can at this point. It was like $12 for the can.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and no alcohol. But interestingly enough, I have had this already. I drank it during the UFC fights, which I still need to send you that Venmo request. I forgot about it.
I was about to say I was waiting for it. I was like, I guess my man forgot.
Yeah, you almost made out like a bandit until I just started talking about it. Anyway,
yeah, it ain't the fighting spirit though.
It is not the fighting spirit. But funny about the fighting spirit is I drank like 4 or 5 of these over the weekend, and for some reason I got this like phantom drunkenness that came over me. I don't know. It was like a placebo effect. I don't know if it's just because it's beer and I taste the flavor of it because it tastes like a Budweiser to me. Full disclosure, it tastes like a Budweiser. It's pretty good. It got me where I needed to get for fight night. I'm like trying to wrestle my wife. I'm like, hey, this is what he needs to do. Also needs to duck and dodge. And I'm like putting her in chokehold. She's like, I'm literally just trying to watch the fight. I'm like, you're not with me. You don't just watch the fight with me. I got to show you what happened.
That's true. That's true. When we're around each other, it's like, or even when we're at the bar, it's like he has to like try to grab somebody. It's like this is what you should have, bro. You can't be grabbing a random person. Leave the bartender alone. They working, bro.
Hey, come here real quick. What are you talking about? Oh, you need another drink? No. See, you gotta come behind him like this, right? And you hump him, and you lift him up. So that's what you really gotta do.
Hey, you trying to wrestle? That's the only thing I think of.
And dude's like, yo, like, chill out. My girl's over there.
No, I used to wrestle in high school. Hold on, let me show you.
Right. Don't worry, I got you. Put you down safely. But yeah, so I've had this before. I'm gonna open this on the pod once we get through my introduction. But I give it a 7 out of 10 for an alcoholic beer. I mean, it's just Budweiser. You're not gonna give Budweiser a high rating, but the fact that it tastes like what it's supposed to taste like, I think that's admirable. So I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. And are we ready? Does everybody have a drink? Or are they already opening yours?
I'll drink with you. We opened it already though.
There we go. Catherine opened it before we even started. I was like, what are we doing?
My bad. Salud.
Yeah, that tastes like air.
That tastes like air and hate.
Air and water.
Air and water. So still a 7 out of 10. It seems like you don't hate it. But what we're going to be talking about is hate. We're going to talk about just how to manage any anger or anger management. I guess the best thing. Have you, either of you guys seen the movie Anger Management with Jack Nicholson and, fuck, what's the other guy? Was it, it's a comedian. Oh, God, I can't remember his name. He was in, like, but he did the, oh, God, I'm going to, like, die.
We'll get it in post.
We'll get it in post. No, I can keep talking. We bouncing it off. He did the Netflix show.
You know what? I got the power.
No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna Google. We can do this together. Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson, Anger Management. It kind of reminds me of that, where like Jack Nicholson was all. Have you seen the movie?
I have not.
You have not? Okay. So I ain't gonna spoil the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it, but this is giving me like the vibes of like when how do you handle like when you get this sudden rush of anger. I mean, we're not all like angry people or mad people. You know, we've done the work. Like we always talk about doing the work, doing the therapy, internal work, and shit like that. So we're not always angry. But when we do, someone crossed us. So
Right, for sure.
So I kind of want to I don't know. Do you want to tell a story, Catherine, or you want me or Martin to go for it first about like the time you were angry and then like how you managed it, or you know if it was justified. Maybe that person ain't shit and they told you that you talk like a gringo. But
That sounds like some inner trauma coming out. We'll touch on that later.
Are we focusing on like work environment or personal life or
Wherever your soul takes you today.
okay. Well, like growing up, I always thought of anger as like a bad emotion and something you're not supposed to feel or like be. Like you can't be an angry person. And so I didn't like understand what anger was. And so going through therapy, I've learned that it's just like your feeling is just an indicator that tells you something. But yeah, I can think like recently I got very, very angry with my dad for a situation. And I feel like I've been like holding things together really well for the last few weeks and like dealing with a lot of change and stress and really like coping with it. But as soon as this happened, it was like every little bit of anger that I've ever felt from like the grocery store or road rage or just like exploded on him. So I feel like a lot of times there are like people that you're comfortable with that really get the wrath of your anger, and that's when you are able to like express it and get it out, which is not healthy. Like after the fact, I felt really bad, and I've been doing a lot of reflecting and like self growth on that situation. But in the moment too, I could feel it. I was like, "Oh, this is a lot of anger, but I just can't stop it." Still.
So this is anger caused by something that he had done, or was it like other things that happened around the time that just added to it that made you just lash out at him?
No, this in particular was related to like him and our relationship and some like work that we're doing in that department. Um, and I felt like I wasn't being like heard or understood or valued from his perspective. And then when I tried to express it, he like still did not take my side, which just made me want to keep going. Like the gloves were on, and I was just going to keep going until he got it.
So when you did, so I'm guessing you yelled at him. Did it like help you at all from like I guess feeling better standpoint? Did you feel like it was helpful to let your anger out in that manner, to where you're just raising your voice and screaming?
Yeah, see, and I've been thinking about that a lot, and I it felt really good in the moment. Like I said, like I just couldn't like it felt really good to actually say what I was feeling and like say it with the feelings that I was feeling. But afterwards, yeah, you just feel like, or at least for me, I felt like emotionally spent and drained. I didn't feel like we really made any progress, and I usually just feel like a little bit embarrassed. And so I don't know if that's like getting used to allowing myself to feel and express anger, or if it maybe, I guess getting used to like feeling and expressing anger is uncomfortable, but also I'm not really great at doing it yet, so it was over the top.
Yeah, I like that point of view because when it comes to anger, at least for me too, I feel like drained
Yeah.
afterwards, or like either it'd be like bottling stuff in and then like it coming out, or if you just like explode. I think, like you said, the anger is another indicator. Well, I was talking to somebody, one of my old coworkers, a couple like last year or whatever. We were talking about like anger. She was talking about how a lot of guys that she was dating didn't know how to like regulate their emotions, like so their default was anger. So, but the underlining could be: are you frustrated? Are you not feeling like you're being heard? Do you feel disrespected? Do you feel like, are you tired? Are you like, these are like the underlining things, and then since it's kind of like built into us, we were talking about kids earlier, and this is my perspective. So either if you guys have a different perspective, let me know. But like it's built in us as a when we're a kid or a baby, when we can't express, they just yell. They're like, I have no idea. I can't get. I'm hungry, but I don't know how to get this out. So like when we're like tired or like you said you weren't being heard, like the feeling of not being heard could be like I feel sad, I feel disrespected, I feel like hurt. It's like from a feeling of being hurt, and then the anger comes out because it's like I want you to understand this feeling because you're not understanding like the subtle cues that I'm giving you from this emotion. But anger is such a big emotion that everyone will understand. But then when you feel like you spent, it's like, oh, now I don't. I hope they got it because now I'm just tired. I just like let it all out. I don't know. What do you think, Martin, about like anger and like the whole like getting like tired afterwards? Like if you're like really pissed off and you're just like, man, I'm done with this shit, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think anger for me is a little bit different because I never, I guess, kind of growing up, seeing how much anger kind of affected my upbringing and seeing like my dad yell at my mom. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of had a similar mindset of like, anger is a bad thing. You should never be angry. You should find
Yeah.
a way to be calm. Going through therapy and kind of growing up and learning that me bottling up my emotions kind of ruined a lot of my past relationships because I just explode in like maybe 3 years. I'm just like, whatever. I let it roll off, let it roll off. And then like one small thing happens, like, oh, you forgot to get me a straw from McDonald's. And I'm like, well, it's because of you that.
No, fuck your stars.
It's like, you always forget about me. You don't give a fuck about me. It's like,
You
where
always
does
worry
this
about the
come
stars.
from?
What about me?
Right, exactly. So I kind of grew up just kind of not getting angry, not raising my voice, and not knowing how to express anger. So I just bottle it in. I've learned that anger comes from a place of like sadness. Like you're sad because you feel disrespected. You feel like no one is understanding of what you're going through or how it affects you. And instead of kind of talking about it in a calm, nice way, saying like, "Hey, like this is something I don't like," and you just let it like saying it like that, you kind of let it get to the point where you feel like you need to get your point across. And most of the time that comes off as yelling. You have to yell to get your point across when you're angry. But there's other ways you can show your anger. Like I show my anger sometimes by the silent treatment. I just stop talking. I'm just like, I'm pissed off, and I know that if I say something else, I'm going to escalate it to the point where I get maybe I get drained. Maybe eventually I'd get drained if I express this. So I just stop talking. I go for a walk. I do something else. Um, and the situation that happened recently, as I kind of talked about on the beginning of this episode, with work, it's been hard because after all this work that I've been done, not even just in the office working, but just inner work and inner healing that I've been doing, like having a critique of me where it's insulting my character that because I find myself to be a relatively hard worker. I mean, not no one was perfect every single day. I don't think anyone works 24 hours a day, or I guess their whole 8 hours like nonstop, like on the grind. Like you got to use the bathroom at some point. You got to make a coffee, go do something. But like for the most part, I get my work done. If you give me a deadline, I'm going to do it. Um, but to have someone kind of not say it directly, but insinuate that you're not putting your effort in and you're kind of half-assing your job when you feel like you're doing everything in your power to get things done, it's insulting. And the way that I want to approach it, I know that I can't do it. So what I typically would do is just go straight to the person and be like, "Hey, let's talk about this."
Mm.
But when you're in a work environment, there's like chains of command, and this isn't coming from the person directly above me. It's coming from the person above the person directly above me. So all of my complaints and issues, I have to bring it to that person, and then they have to bring it to their level, the next level. Even though I know this person on a personal level, I can't do that because it's just not appropriate from a work standpoint. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to be angry and like kind of have to sit in it right now.
Yeah.
Even though I know that all I want to do is just say, like, send a quick text, like, "Hey, let's talk about this."
Yeah.
But I can't do that. So it's a weird spot.
That's really interesting, actually. I like the just sitting with it, because I feel like while you were talking, I was thinking that like when I feel angry, it makes me so uncomfortable that I have to react immediately to like get rid of that feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it obviously makes it worse. Like, I guess it's more like getting comfortable with being angry and figuring out how to regulate that. Um,
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
I
mean,
like.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say one of the things that I've been doing. I mean, since I've been frustrated, is like I try to find ways to mitigate my anger, or like try to calm myself down, whether it's working out or typically back in the day we'd be like, oh yeah, let's go to the bar and get a drink. And now that I'm not drinking, because I don't really want to use that as a coping mechanism, I've moved over to like, I just need some comfort food. So like, I ordered in like Tuesday night. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get smash burger. Today, when I got the other notification, I was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna Uber eat something to the house. Which, by the way, I got cold fries. I got delivery fries, and I was just like, man, this should have won because delivery fries sucks. I was so disappointed with the French fries because they were good for all of 2 minutes, and then after that, they were horrible. So, anyway, leaving that alone for now. But yeah, like you have to find sitting with it is like finding ways to cope and think
Yeah.
of like, and it's just like I'm stuck just thinking about it until I have a moment to like have that conversation with the person. Because I don't think me talking to my direct manager is going to make me feel better because I don't know if the person who offended me is going to get the full breadth of how I'm feeling. Like I
Right.
just need to let them know. So I'm currently trying to navigate how to go about that, and it's hard.
Yeah, no, I like that. Like you said, the both of y'all mentioned just like sitting with it, and kind of like figuring out like how to deal with it, cope, or yeah, like we used to do before. Like we would go to like what was it? What was the bar across the street?
McCormick and Schmidt.
McCormick and Smith. We were like, oh yeah, I had a shit day. Let's go get fucked up. Get fucked up and eat two extra large pizzas, and then I became Fat Joe. So it kind of backfired, but like with it, I think with like this whole like the healthy approach of it, because Kathy, I'm with you. Like, um, I would kind of love to have that like being able to express it like immediately, but it's like if I express it immediately, will it be done in a way that like help solve the problem, or will it make it worse? Because you want it is an uncomfortable feeling. And for me, like I was telling you guys earlier, when so I've been trying to practice Spanish, and one of my coworkers made a comment when I was talking to someone in Spanish. They were like, "Yo, you sound like a gringo," and to me, it was like it was a criticism because, and I took it so hard because I think the reason why I took it hard, and I think that's another thing that helps with anger as well. When you sit with it and try to figure out why does this bother me so much, why does this action or from a person, place, or thing outside of me have this much control over me? And then you think about it. For me, it was because I was nervous in the first place to talk to somebody that was a Spanish speaker and come up to, and I was brave enough to be like, hey, I'm not that great at Spanish, but I want to learn. And them offer me and said, yeah, sure, I got you. And then someone that wasn't a part of that then comes and say, yeah, they were just lying to you. You ain't doing good. Like, you still like struggling. So I felt like it was an attack on me because I got outside my comfort zone. That I was like, hey, yo, I'm going to do this because I want to get better. And for them to come at me, I had all types of words to say to them, and I bit my tongue. But I know, like, it seeped out, like in the conversation, just like my anger seeped out because I couldn't deal with it. I didn't even know why I was so angry because it was like a normal side comment. They always say because they always say, "Oh, I'm not an asshole. I'm just sassy." Or, "Oh, I'm not an asshole. I'm just a jerk or a lovable jerk." No, you're an asshole. We can call it you're being an asshole. But um, but through that, like me sitting with it now or expressing it, like I think like expressing it in a good, like safe environment, may it be like us on this pod, like or like you guys listening to out there, like we're here. So like, if you need a vent about anything, you know, like we love that, and I think that's our therapy. Or just like venting to someone that you can confide in before, like, you know, going into that. Because let's say you did go to your direct and you were like, look, man, I work my ass up. And you ain't gonna
Like,
tell me
yo,
about it.
real talk. I got these 4 ounce gloves. You gonna see what's happening?
Exactly. Or like, you know, you going to your dad and shit like that. Maybe if it came from like, oh, let me breathe, let me go on a walk. And it's so hard. I hate that everyone's like, hey yo, if you angry, count to 3. Why?
The 3. It's always 10. 3 ain't gonna do nothing. 3 gonna make you more mad. 1, 2, 3. That didn't work.
But that's like, oh, that's like we ain't. I think that's another thing is anger management and stuff. Like you said, we always were taught like. I mean, I grew up in a household of like people yelling into similar as Martin, and I saw anger as like it only does worse. But it's not that we need to like. I think changing anger as like it's bad to like what is it trying to tell? What is my body trying to tell me? And learning from that, and then making efforts to then go about whatever bothering you and solving that problem, either it's inside you or you like messaging your direct and be like, "Hey, yo,"
I
you
mean, I
know.
think that anger is so interesting to me because I so when I was really frustrated on Tuesday, Catherine and I had plans to like FaceTime that night, and you know, being the cool co-host friend that she is, she was like, "Hey, you know, I'm still available at that time if you just want to chat." Because I had texted her that I canceled because I'm going to stay late at work. And I told my wife the same thing, like, "Hey, I'm going to be late at work." Blah 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 blah. And you know, I know that she looks forward to talking to me, and Catherine does all the time, and I like blew her off because of this. But she also made herself available, which meant that at the time I left the office was the time we were supposed to FaceTime. So I just like gave her a call and I was like, let me vent to you real quick because I need you to know what's going on at work and I also can't sit with it. So I do think that having someone you confide in that you can talk to helps a lot because if you just stick to it with yourself, it's harder to get past it. And in that same regard, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't. I'm a big person never like going outside of your relationship to talk about your problems, which makes it very paramount that you and your partner are able to do conflict resolution.
Yeah.
And you also have to be understanding of your partner's way of resolving conflict and kind of meet in the middle a little bit. And you know, I get burned sometimes. I get burned a lot. I get burned. Okay, I get burned.
Hey, yo, let her know she didn't hear you. She probably got the headphones and throwing bots.
Right, cleaning pots and smelling like fish out here. I don't know what's happening. I told her to put her. Never mind. Anyway,
Oh my god.
yeah, we're gonna get that one in post. But yeah, no, it's really when you're in a relationship, you can't just go outside yourself because then you have other people in your relationship telling you like, "Oh, you deserve better. You should leave that person. They don't know anything good for you." And you know, sometimes they might be right. You might be getting abused in your relationship, or someone can see from the outside looking in. They're like, "Oh, you know what? I don't like that for you." But a lot of times when people tell stories about their relationship, they always tell the negatives. They don't tell the positives. So a lot of people just hear bad things happen, like, "Oh, you're always unhappy. You're always this. You're always that." And you're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of in a weird space. But I try not to yell at my partner.
That's
we
good.
get into an instant situation. Have you guys seen The Bear? This is the latest season of The Bear.
Yes. I'm one episode away.
Okay, well, I'm not going to
I
spoil
didn't see
anything.
the new season.
Oh yeah, the new season's good. You should check it out.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I want to adopt with my wife is this thing. Yeah, where basically it's just like, hey, like we might be arguing at this point, but like just know that the love is still there. Like we're still here for each other, and we're going to get through it. And I think that's a healthy way of thinking about it when you're in a relationship. If you know you're not going to be on the same page all the time, like that's not realistic. You're all different people. You have different motivations and interests, but you know, just try to maintain the peace, maintain the love, and try to keep the anger. Anger is a important emotion, but just use it, channel it in a different way. Try to resolve your anger in a calm way, which sounds like a weird way to say
Oxymoron.
oxymoron. But yeah, just try to manage your anger in a calm way. Just take a step back, think about the situation, why this person or why whatever's happening is important to you, and be able to articulate it in a way where you're not insulting and adding fire to the flame or gas to the flame, whatever it is.
If you like show your anger, how do you like? What's the next step after that with the person that you maybe kind of lashed out on? Like, how do you resolve that situation?
Well, it depends. Are we talking about someone you're dating? Are you talking about a friend? Or are you talking about a coworker or someone you don't really know?
Uh, no, either work situation or like a personal life, either one.
So if you show your anger, I don't know. I
Let's
think
go personal life. Well, no, either one. Sorry.
make a decision.
I,
I mean, like, so in like in a I'll go quickly over each one. I think in a professional environment, if you like show your anger, like you just need to. If it's like in a meeting, because I've seen that happen where
yeah.
someone's really angry in a meeting, they start yelling across the table, and it almost gets to the point where things aren't productive. In those situations, you kind of just say, "Hey, let's like put things down for right now, step away, and like let's approach this again where we're a little bit calmer." And you just walk away from that situation. And our personal, like in your relationship, dating, it's a give and take. Sometimes you got to stand up for what you believe in and keep the fight going because you don't want to be walked over. But it's also like
You gotta show them how to do it. You go.
Yeah, I gotta show
yeah. So you grab them by the neck, and then you first under here. That way you add in pressure, and you grab the back of the neck, and you then you that's a blood choke, and then they never mind. But yeah, sometimes you're gonna want to do that, but you also got to know that like you love and you care for this person. The ultimate goal isn't to win. You got to put yourself aside and understand the goal is to move forward together. So as long as you kind of do the premarital counseling, or if you're not married, if you're just dating, just do the work to understand that like, hey, like what's our goals moving forward? Is it to make peace or is it to win? And sometimes I have to put myself aside, like, hey, winning today isn't important right now. I want to make sure that we can move forward and be happy tomorrow or in the future. And then, like, friends, you just fight your friends. Like, like Jermaine came at me sideways. He's getting an uppercut. And then take a shot, take him down, the ground and pound.
There you go.
And I'm going to send him an emoji, a peach emoji, and an eggplant. And just see what happens.
let it ride. Let it ride.
Yeah.
I like that. I really do. I really like those thoughts. What do you think, Catherine, with those his examples of like how to solve it? Was that like close, like is it more like after, like you exploded at somebody, then how do you come back to them afterwards?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I was starting to think about like resolving things. Like, do you apologize? Like, do you apologize for your anger? Because like that's the big one.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like to apologize. They take it as like weakness, and it's hard for people. There's like this thing where it's like, is it harder for you to say "I love you" or "I'm sorry"? I think for a lot of people, it's saying "I'm sorry." It's harder for a lot of people to do because they don't want to feel like they're a bad person. Because they think if they say they're sorry, they're at fault and they're a bad person. Whereas, we say this all the time. You're like a sum of your actions, not just the action that made someone upset. So I can easily say I'm sorry if I fucked up. Like if I yell at somebody, if I hurt your feelings, if I force you not to ever wear makeup again because I say something rude, like I can be accountable and say, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean to offend you. But everyone's different. Some people can't do that, and I don't know. It's hard for me when I'm dealing with a situation with people who cannot apologize.
Yeah,
it's so easy for me. Why can't it be easy for them to do the same?
Yeah, and that comes back from what we were talking about with forgiveness, right? Like, is it like when you're apologizing or like making amends? Like, let's say, like I've had issues with my dad, right? And I come from like, hey, this is like the bear. Like I really like that though, Martin. I come from this place of love. Like, I'm sorry if I made you feel this way. Then it's up to them to how they want to react. If they want to come to a place of understanding and love, great. But you're coming to like forgive them, or you're trying to like clear the air for yourself. The healing's for you. You apologize, like this thing's heavy on your heart. You're letting it go. You're saying, "Hey, I'm sorry if I made you feel this way. Can we work on this?" And then from there, it's up to them because one person can't. If you're one person can't be in an argument together, unless you're yelling at yourself, like, and then that's a whole other thing. You probably need to take you to the doctor, um, but it's back and forth, just like any relationship, work relationship, friends, family, a partner. It's a back and forth. One person can't put it all in. They can only say I'm sorry, and it's up to that other person to meet them in the middle and meet them there. And like Martin said, that's the tricky part is you don't want to get walked over too.
Right, I was just saying that's where it's just like, all right, the last 3 times I came and met you, and I was just like, whatever, I made it slide. But the 4th time, no, I'm gonna put my feet down and be like, all right, no, now it's a trend. I gotta nip it in the bud. I can't get walked over.
Yeah, you gotta hold your ground like Florida.
Yeah, yes. So stop it, stop it. I didn't want to agree with you, but that's funny. But it's not funny. It's a horrible dark joke. Stop.
I'm sorry, I had to put one in.
But yeah, so I think that I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to say on the topic. Catherine, do you have anything you want to add before we exit?
No, that was actually really therapeutic. So that was nice. Thanks you for sharing.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
We're here for therapy.
I was gonna say I would love to have like a conflict resolution podcast because I feel like it's so many layers in that itself. So maybe we'll get from that in the future or something.
Maybe, you know what? We'll have a Papa's Pulpit episode. We'll have people bring their problems, like the "Am I the asshole" type thing, or and just kind of dissect it and give our opinions or our takes on it, and see where it goes. I think that'd be a fun episode idea.
Where can they send these fun episode ideas to?
Segue guy over here. Yeah, so if you have anything you want to send to us, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Unsolicited Counseling and YouTube under the same name. You can also send us an email at youadvicepodcast@gmail.com. And I almost forgot, we're on Facebook as well.
Okay.
The Counseling Podcast and Threads. If you want to find us on Threads, it's a new app. We're
on Threads?
We're on Threads. We're on Threads. We couldn't get Twitter, but we got Threads. So here we are. We're on Threads under Unsolicited Counseling. So come check us out. Page is relatively new, but we adding content. We're working on it. It'll get there.
Awesome. And Catherine, we need Catherine. Catherine, you need to sign off too. You want to give a quick preview to your sign off? Let's see it.
Oh God, you just threw me for a loop. I thought I was a pro.
All right, but really though, the real conversation. Just tell me when.
Oh well, you can probably have a great night.
All right, guys. As always, we love you guys. We're here for you guys. One drink at a time, one episode at a time. Be easy, y'all.
Latest.